Welcome back to Miss Anita's Crafts. If you are planning on making any of your Christmas gifts this year, you probably want to start now. So I went to Hobby Lobby. I got all these really great colored clay beads. These colors all look so amazing together, and I poured them all into a bucket, just mixed them up randomly so that I'll be able to use them all at once. I also grabbed a few spools of this black hemp cord. We're going to get some of this measured out, and we're going to use it to make a lanyard with a little hook at the end for a badge holder. This one's going to be an 18-inch lanyard, so I doubled that and added a little bit extra. This is a total of 50 inches, so I have enough to tie the knot at the end. And also because this is hemp cord, it's a natural material, it tends to fray on the ends. So I have a little trick I'll show you to make sure that the ends don't need to be trimmed repeatedly. We're just going to take a little bit of Elmer's glue, and we'll use it to seal both ends of the string. We're going to cover about 2 inches worth on both ends, and this will stiffen it up a little bit so it'll be a little bit easier to put the string through the holes in the beads. And also it's going to make it a whole lot easier to get 2 strings through the beads at the very end, which is something that we have to do to close off the lanyard, and we don't want to have any trouble with that. And once you have a nice coating on both ends, just set it aside, let it dry for a few minutes, and then we'll be ready to work with it. Now that it's dry, I'll take one of the stiffened ends and I'll tape it onto my workstation. Anytime I'm working with beads, I always tape down one end with some really good tape. Painter's tape works great for this because it doesn't leave any residue behind. It's really easy to peel it up and then stick it right back down if you need to. Let's bring back that bucket of beads. We're going to grab a small pinch, whatever colors we happen to be holding. That's the exact pattern that we're going to do. I try to work them in my hands a little bit to be able to get them all stacked. If they're in a nice neat stack like this, you'll be able to put on several at a time instead of just one. So that would take forever. So sometimes you can even get 10 or 15 little beads in a stack if you're really good at kind of grabbing them and situating them the right way. We're going to add a total of about 6 inches worth of beads, and the cool thing about this mat is every square on the grid pattern is 1 inch by 1 inch, so we'll know exactly when we get there. This is the only part that I'm doing that's sort of a pattern, but after those 6 inches we're going to put one of these cute little spacer beads. We're actually going to put a total of 5 of these on the whole lanyard, and this is just our first one. Both sides are going to mirror each other. Now keep going about another 5 inches and we'll add another spacer bead. Now, we'll know we've reached the halfway point because I have gone ahead and marked out 18 inches and put another piece of tape at the other end. I'm not taping the string down, I'm just using it to mark the halfway point. So we know we're going to fill it up with some more beads, and once we reach the spacer beads, we'll put one on this side so it matches. We definitely want those spacer beads to be parallel, and they can be anything. It's really just something to break up the pattern, and a lot of times it looks nice to use something that's a different color or maybe even something metallic. Now we've reached the end of the lanyard, and this next part is a little bit tricky and very, very important. I want this to be a high quality gift. I don't want there to be any chance of it coming apart, so we need to make sure it's very, very secure. So remember when I said we were going to use 5 spacer beads? We're going to bring in that 5th one right now. I like to do each one a different color, and I have enough to do that. We're going to put both ends of the string through the hole in the bead. We'll scoot it up to the end. And now I have these really cool sparkly beads that I want to put after the flower, but the problem is the hole is kind of small. And that's why it's really helpful to have those stiffened ends, because I'll be able to put both of them through without any trouble, but I also need to be able to feed them back through after I put on the clasp. It's a fun little clasp. It has a swivel. You can hang your badge on it. You can put your keys on there. We're going to put both ends of the string through this loop at the end of the clasp. Then we'll take the ends of the string, and going the opposite direction, we're going to feed them back through the same hole of the sparkly bead that we went through before. Now we're going to scoot it up pretty close, and we're going to leave the tiniest bit, maybe just about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/3 of an inch of space between the flower bead and the sparkly bead, and we can trim off those extra ends. Now remember, we want this to be so secure, we don't want this falling apart on anyone. So we haven't even knotted our string, but we're going to use this cool little crimp tool. It's just a piece of metal, it's shaped like a C, and we'll be able to put a little super glue in there and close it around the ends of our string. But it also makes a little decorative spacer bead in between the flower and the sparkly bead, which actually looks really cool. So I'll squeeze a little bit of super glue into both ends. It's kind of like a tube, but it's open on one side. And then we'll take that open side and just slide it right over the strings. Make sure those loose ends kind of sit in the glue, and that way they're not going anywhere, especially not after we use a plier to clamp them down, which is the next step. And these don't take long at all to make. They're really fun to do, very relaxing. This one probably took somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes to make. I've made a whole bunch of them. I'll show you all the ones I've done. I just do the random pattern on all of these, and they all come out unique and really different. Very colorful, really fun patterns. And I've never seen a lanyard quite like these in any store, so that makes it a really cool gift.